Hi there, I'm Mel Wakeman and this is my fourth snack size video, and today's is about butter versus margarine. What's best? Is there one we should be avoiding? It's a little bit confusing, and rightly so, because last year a headline came out in the tabloids that said butter is unlikely to harm, but margarine could kill you. Pretty powerful stuff. And ever since then, we've been drip fed these headlines that suggested that actually, you know what, ignore everything that you were told about saturated fat and butter beforehand. Don't worry about it. In actual fact, just keep on using it. It'll probably give you some health benefits, and if anything, avoid processed products like the margarine. I know it's confusing, but I'm going to try and make some sense of this particular headline and explain to you what I would recommend. Okay, so these are both fat products. Whether it's butter or margarine or an olive oil, we need to be careful of the total amount of fat that we're having. They all carry the same amount of energy and calories. So if we have any of them in excess, then they're going to contribute to our expanding waistlines. Okay. Now, the confusion from this came about, I'm not going to bore you with the details, but a study that came out last year that had looked at, like 70 other studies about saturated fat content. They didn't do any measurements whatsoever, and they just sort of drew everything together and came up with this conclusion that butter may not be that harmful. But you know what? What the headlines didn't tell you in the paper was that they actually had no confidence at all in that finding. Okay, so I'm not going to say anything different. I know other health professionals and people that work in nutrition are not going to say anything different in terms of we need to be watching the amount of butter and saturated fat that we are consuming. Okay, I think some of the scariness around margarine came from the fact that when they used to make margarines, they used to contain products called trans fats. Okay, so these were made to help sort of give products shelf life and so on. And we know that trans fats behave just like saturated fats and are equally as harmful to our health. But now we've moved on. All manufacturers now make products like margarines with minimal use, if anything, no use of trans fats whatsoever. So we can sort of put that one out the window. Okay. So what's in our fat products? So butter, made from milk, churned milk. Essentially, this is 740 odd calories for just less than half this block. Okay, so we need to be thinking about using this sparingly. It's gonna add to the scale, shall we say. It's also 80% fat. Okay, so it's a high fat product, and it's 50% saturated fat. Now that sort of rings a few alarm bells with me, because saturated fat is what increases our blood cholesterol levels. When our blood cholesterol levels go up, so does our risk of developing heart disease and suffering a stroke. Okay, so that evidence for me is pretty clear. Margarine, okay, this just happened to be the one that I picked up. This is a polyunsaturated margarine because the fats in here, rather than being based on dairy, so it's suitable for vegetarians, come from plants. So in here we've got linseed, palm oil, rapeseed, and what else have we got in here? Sunflower oil, okay? Now the benefits of those plant oils are that rather than containing saturated fat like butter, they are rich in polyunsaturated fats. And what we know about polyunsaturated fats is that they can help to lower our blood cholesterol levels. And particularly, they lower the bad cholesterol that's associated with heart disease. Okay, there's also vitamin E associated with these oils, so they confer a number of health benefits. But it doesn't mean to say we can go mad on them. We still need to use them sparingly, like any other oil. Now, for me, okay, I have no existing health conditions. So for anyone that is not worried about their cholesterol levels, is not worried about their energy intake or their body weight, do you know what? Butter is absolutely fine. We just need to think about using it sparingly. Now, I love butter, so much so that I like to see my teeth in it when I bite it. But I know that's an occasional treat, okay? If I can use butter every day, that's okay too, but I use it sparingly. Spread it really thinly on your bread or your sandwiches, okay? Don't go mad with it. I know there's a huge trend at the moment that particularly butter from grass-fed cows contains extra nutrients and benefits, and people are putting lumps of it in their coffee to create what's called a bulletproof coffee. No, that scares me, if anything. There is no benefit from having something like a bulletproof coffee or using more butter. It's not going to improve your health, okay? So when I would recommend a polyunsaturated margarine would be if you are watching your weight, if you are watching your calorie intake, if you have existing high cholesterol levels, okay, you can always go to your GP, and it's really simple to do a really quick blood cholesterol level, okay. If you're just looking after your general well-being and wanting to go for a healthier option, okay, this is a lower fat product and has lower saturated fat. So remember we said this is 80% fat and 50% saturated fat. This is just 45% fat and 10% saturated fat. And there are lighter versions of this that will also be slightly lower in calories still, and a slightly lower saturated fat content. So at the end of the day, it's going to come down to personal preference, what you like the taste of. But either way, don't go mad, using sparingly, and just enjoy. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much.